Welcome back to the TRYLOSOPHY Podcast. Here in the new year, January 5th, 2018, Episode 2. Sports, music, film. We're going to talk about some boxing today. Thank you for joining me, everyone, and anyone who's listening to the podcast. Downloading it, subscribing, whichever. Or if you go to the website or the YouTube channel, much appreciated. So let's get started. 2017 was an excellent year for boxing. So many big things happened last year. I mean, I'm sure everyone who's listening to this has already gotten their end of the year award reports and most notable fights, but I'm a little late. I'm a little on the late train. Had to travel to California for a little bit, come back. So let's get started again here. So Miguel Berchelt versus Francisco Vargas. That was an absolute war in the beginning of 2017. Also, we saw the rise of Anthony Joshua selling out Wembley Stadium. 90,000 people in attendance for that fight against champion Vladimir Klitschko. That was an incredible fight. Anthony Joshua seemed to be this Terminator. I mean, it was my first time actually seeing him or hearing about him. So me and my wife saw that fight here at the house, and even she was very impressed. I mean, you saw Klitschko go down, Joshua go down, and then just when you thought Anthony Joshua was already out, then it comes back to win the fight. Oscar de la Hoya also made good on his promise to make Canelo versus Golovkin this last year. A lot of people talking shit that it was not going to happen. Canelo's ducking. They made it happen. Ended up being an amazing fight, despite the scorecards or judges, whatever. Mikey Garcia versus Adrian Broner. Who thought that was ever going to happen? Mikey Garcia going up in weight, 140 pounds, to school Adrian Broner. That was an amazing... let's see. What are the words for that? That was an amazing showcase of skill and talent. And you just see Mikey Garcia being in the prime of his career still. Those 2 years off didn't do anything to him. Adrian Broner, on the other hand, looked pretty drained. Was not letting those hands go. What else can I say? And towards the end of the year, there's a lot of fights I'm not going to mention, just because there's too many to name. You had at the end of the year, Orlando Salido going up against Mickey Roman in an absolute war. Orlando Salido he announced his retirement. Everyone was happy for him in doing that. Later on, he decided that he is not retiring. And that was a perfect fight for him to retire to. But if you have to make money, you got to support your family. You got to do what you got to do. Molina Jr. versus Red Catch. That was an excellent fight too. This is just towards the end of the year fights, guys. All right. 2017 also saw Mayweather versus McGregor. That was just a shock. No one ever thought that was going to happen. A UFC fighter getting to the ring with an undefeated multi-division world champ. It's Floyd Mayweather. Not even boxers have beaten him. But it was a curious fight. I mean, as much as a lot of the boxing fanatics, boxing analysts, I mean, everybody was curious in the back of their mind. And Mayweather wins the fight. TKO. And what is one of the biggest pay-per-view events, if not the biggest pay-per-view event of all time. Notable deals in 2017. We saw Golden Boy go to ESPN to showcase some young talent. I believe Thursdays. Fridays might be in there, but absolutely Thursdays. We also saw Top Rank make a deal with ESPN, putting the big fights on ESPN that would normally, in the past, would have been pay-per-view fights. But now we're getting some big fights on ESPN. It's, pretty much basic cable. We saw Manny Pacquiao fight on ESPN. Whoever thought that was going to happen? I mean, Pacquiao equals pay-per-view pretty much every time. Even this late in his career at this age. Doesn't matter. And he goes on to ESPN to fight Jeff Horn in Australia and losing a decision to Jeff Horn. We also saw a lot of non-pay-per-view matches if you had a little bit, some premium cable. You got Showtime and the PBC putting on some non-pay-per-view fights, as well as HBO. You get some championship boxing without the price tag. It was a pretty good year for boxing, if I would say. If I can say so myself. It was a little awkward just talking to myself, but it is what it is. This is the TRYLOSOPHY Podcast. Little by little, we're going to get it done. So we also have some matches coming up here in January. Some pretty good fights, I would say. I mean, it just seems like 2017 is just, it's not losing a step. It's just like it's continuing into 2018. No problem. It's already been planned. Everything's going great. The momentum is there. Awesome. So we got Lucas Matisse versus Tewa Kiram. And then on the undercard, you got Jorge Linares versus Mercito Gesta. Going to see that on January 27th. Prior to that, we'll see Clarissa Shields return against Tori Nelson. Also making her U.S. debut is Christina Hammer on that undercard. And for those who don't know, Christina Hammer from Germany has been wanting to fight Clarissa Shields. And, hopefully we see a little, some build up there, some maybe post-fight commentary between both of them. See what happens there. Oh, another thing we saw in 2017 was the World Boxing Super Series, which had a tournament in numerous weight classes. So we'll see that continue on with the semifinals. We see Alexander Usyk against Briedis? I forget. I can't even pronounce his name. But that will also be on January 27th. And that will... Whoever wins that one is going to make it to the final. And that's that. We also see Errol Spence Jr. making his return against Lamont Peterson, which a fight I'm definitely not mad about. That should be good. All coming in January. And there's some other ones in January that I have not even mentioned. So it is what it is. So we see they've already made the fight announcement. There's a press conference next week, I believe Tuesday at the Conga Room. We got Brandon Rios, 34, 3-1, versus Danny Garcia, 33, 1-0. So both fighters fought one time last year. Danny Garcia went on to, I believe, do some side projects, maybe get into some movies, maybe rest up a bit. I'm not entirely sure. Brandon Rios, on the other hand, came out of retirement a little while after Timothy Bradley came out of retirement. Fought last year in Lancaster, and got the win. He looked good, and I don't know. Looking through his Instagram, his Twitter, everything, the guy looks in shape. Definitely does not look like he's the same Brandon Rios that fought Timothy Bradley. He looks rededicated to the sport. He's in shape. He's in a lot better shape. And if your mind is in check, and your mind wants to, you already have the mindset that you want to box. Hey, like I said before, you got to support your family. So Brandon Rios looking good. Danny Garcia has been a ghost. I don't know where the hell that guy is at the moment, but they made this fight, and I'm definitely not mad at this because a lot of people took a shit on my opinion as far as Miguel Cotto fighting Saddam Ali last year in Cotto's last fight. And that was, I would say that was, it surprised everyone. Saddam Ali won in a convincing manner. So, and I mean, right now I'll say it like I said last time. So Saddam Ali only lost to Jesse Vargas, which is a quality opponent. Okay? Let's go through Brandon Rios. Brandon Rios is his losses. He lost to Timothy Bradley, Manny Pacquiao, and Mike Alvarado. He had a couple wars with Mike Alvarado. He had 3 fights with him. That at the time, that was a great fight. Great fights. Wars. That's what people want to see. Right now, people might have different opinions about both of these guys. But losing to Pacquiao and Bradley, and then one against Mike Alvarado that you had a couple wars with, you going to tell me that he's a bum or what? Like, is not a good fight? I don't think so. Danny Garcia fought Keith Thurman last year, early last year. It's going to be about a year since he's fought in a fight that it really didn't do it for me. It was, I believe, it was PBC. Might have been CBS, one of those. And, it got a lot of viewership. The fight had its moments, but for the most part, really didn't do it for me. There's not enough action. These guys are both very skilled fighters. Just, I don't think I'm alone on that one. That was definitely not the best fight I've ever seen. We're also going to see Amir Khan come back. He said he wants to fight about 3 times this year. Wants a big fight at the end of the year. Mikey Garcia will be hunting down his 4th world title in a different weight division, 140, against Sergey Lipinets. Another fight that people are shitting on. Well,